air, I'm at the core, and hell is open and hustling like an ocean. I was so flowing, flooded with jungle, spitting on bubbles, staring colors, but we the real Jews, they the right. We the real niggas, they the copyright infringement. We the real wetbacks, copyright. Backstage. You know, it was like, but you a gospel light, bitch. What you talking about? Loaded boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named Slayer. What you think? Well, you be done to try. Soft cold shit, we bought it. UPK, you solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy. Think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm about it. UPK, too solid. Fuck nigga don't want then up. Nigga was not like phone and get set up for the coin and get guns down, man down, to the time get them no. But I see the solid and I swore in Tennessee while I'm touring. Tennessee, but she look in a sucker duck bitch ass boy. Fuck nigga. I say, if that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named Slayer. What you think? Well, you be done to try. Soft cold shit, we bought it. UPK, too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy. Think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga down to me. Base up while I fit a beat. Yeah, AR 223. Draco with a magazine. Yeah, the clip on a limousine. I shoot your ass in the spleen. While I bust your ass in a temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. You're scoring more. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UPK play for keys, nigga. Continue to get a damn order, but ain't nothing to damn kill you. I was talking his ass. All weapons boys full of tech. I like a close combat. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick loaded for him. The page line up. My nigga name is Slayer. What you think? What you be done to try South Coast shit? We got it. You PK, you great day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right away. What you think I look? I said 7 women gonna be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy? Straight by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
Outside. Outside.
Cause yeah, we in the store, we take it outside. Make it outside. We the mag and it's inside. There's one west side. I got the world in the palm of my the whole world doing it. For them shooters. Payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they play doh. Soldiers giving hate.
How about y'all should me out Shyberg a thumb. Clap it up. Get on. I'll answer. Graduation in Wisconsin. We'll also go into the Pride Parade riot. There was a riot at the Pride Parade. They're such a peaceful people, a happy folk. They had a riot at the Pride Parade. We'll break that down for you today. And of course, I will answer all of your questions, both great and small. Let's have a drink since I'm back in Harlem, if you don't mind. You know, I'll just take two. Just 2 fingers. 2 fingers out the water. All right, we ready to rock?
What kind, sir?
First question. Let me get me Espanol together too while you're doing that.
And quick shout out Atlanta in the building.
Give Atlanta a hand. I see you, Atlanta. Look at my hand.
We have a question in the chat from Officer Malakia. Shalom, Lord in Christ. Could I get a general breakdown of Philippians 4 and 6? And specifically when it says careful, is that speaking about being full of care as in caring too much?
To be careful means being full of cares. To be full of cares means to worry. That's what being careful is biblically. Read the precept for him, all right? No problem.
Philippians 4 and verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God.
So being careful for nothing means don't worry about a thing. That's it. But just pray to the Most High God, and He'll provide for you. That is the key to so many terrible times in life, where worrying makes it worse. Worrying makes you think of some drastic solution to a problem that is not drastic, a problem that really is simple, a problem that every man goes through in life. But when it happens to you, of course, you do something drastic. I remember back when I was young, everyone would say, I have to sell drugs to feed my children. You've heard that before, right? I have to sell drugs to buy Pampers for my baby. Well, that is to buy formula. That's a very drastic solution to a simple problem. So now to buy Pampers, you're going to go to jail for 25 years for Pampers because you needed Pampers. So tell that to the CO. I'm here because of Pampers. That's why I'm in here for 25 years. Don't worry about a thing, young brother. Don't worry. Make your supplication to God. You go to him because you need Pampers. You pray to the Most High God because you need to take care of your daughter. You need me. You go to him about it. Don't go out and do something drastic. The problem is not that serious. Really, what you'll find in life in a terrible time, all you need is brothers. That's it. That's what brothers are for. The Bible says that a friend is for the day of adversity. If you don't have good brothers, then of course it makes your problems a lot worse. Anything else?
Wow, sir, that's all.
Okay. Any other questions in the room? Go ahead.
I wanted to know what does "speak lightly of my name" mean when Christ was talking about the fake Israelite groups in Mark chapter 9, 38 to 39.
Also, Abijah had some good purple pig things he wanted to go over tonight. Let me know if he wants to get down with that, or we can do that. Go ahead and get that for me, please.
So we're in Mark chapter 9, verse 38.
Mm-hmm.
The question is in 39 though. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us, and we forbade him.
So what is this talking about? Just so you know, this is speaking about the fake Israelites that were around during the time of Christ. There's always been men who refuse to follow the order that the Most High God laid down. Heretics. Men who refuse to walk through the straight gate. They've always existed. They existed during the time of Christ. Everyone understands.
Okay.
They had names you've heard of: the Zealots, the Pharisee, the Sakari, the Heresy. I mean, the Pharisee and the, what's the other one? The Sadducee, the Pharisee. Say again?
Nicolaitans.
The Nicolaitans, is that the one? Or is that this different one? And the Essenes. The Nicolaitans and the Essenes. Right? They were people or groups that were around during the time of Christ, but did not follow him. They didn't walk with him. They didn't go from city to city with him. They weren't in the cornfields that day when they picked corn and the Pharisee wanted to kill Christ and his disciples. Are we on TikTok? I still shouldn't say that word. They wanted to unalive the disciples of Christ. They weren't there that day, but they thought they were, godly men. So Peter came across a group of these people. They were out teaching, and they weren't with Christ at the same time. So they're out with him, talking about him, trying to cast out demons in the name of Christ, but yet they're not with Christ. And that offended Peter, which is why you are so offended today by fake Israelites. The offense is this: you are giving people the impression that you and I are the same when we're not. So the UPK is out there speaking about Yahushua and the 12 tribes of Israel. And then some purple pig cop who makes his students sign an NDA. You're the same as us. It's an insult that you even call yourself an Israelite. We take it as a personal insult. We take every fake Israelite group. They are personally insulting us because what if someone thinks that you and I are the same? That's an insult. Peter was offended. He said, Lord, they cast out demons in thy name, yet they walk not with us. They don't do what we do. They don't behave as we behave, but yet they're telling people, I'm casting this demon out in the name of Yahushua. It's an insult. Continue.
And we forbade him.
And Peter stopped them. Peter went over to them and said, listen, now, shut this camp down. That's enough. Oh, boy, many a time. Many a time. We do not have that order. And that is why we don't do it. And that's the only reason we don't do it. Everybody understand? Yeah. Well, this is why we don't do it. Okay? This precept is what Commanding General Yana read and was taught and teaches us. Peter went over to them and shut their camp down. He made them stop speaking because they were speaking about Christ, but they were not with Christ. Continue.
Because he followeth not us.
You get my point. He followeth not God.
He followeth not us.
He followeth not the Holy One of Israel.
He followeth not us.
He followeth not the commandments.
He followeth not us.
You understand? Peter is saying this cat ain't with us. He shouldn't be talking about Jesus Christ. He shouldn't be casting out demons in the name of Christ. He is not with us. The only way you should be casting out demons in the name of Christ is if you're with us. That's what Peter believed. That's why he shut them down. Keep going.
Verse 38. And John answered him. Verse 39. But Yahushua said, forbid him not.
What did Christ say?
Forbid him not.
Read it again.
But Yahushua said, forbid him not.
Jesus Christ said, don't shut their camp down. Don't stop them from teaching. That's what forbid them means. Forbidding them means you stop them from teaching. Christ said, do not stop them from teaching. If you see the Muslims or Christian street corner preacher or the purple pigs or some fake Israelite, don't shut their camp down. Don't stop them. Keep going.
For there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name.
For there is no man. Now, here's the part that you have to get. It's right in front of your face. The fake Israelites can't see it because they're not in the truth. This is why you should not forbid them. For there is no man that shall perform a miracle in my name and speak.
That can speak lightly evil of me.
That can do what?
That can lightly speak evil of me.
This is why you should not shut them down. For there is no man that can cast out a demon in my name that can speak lightly evil of me. Now, what does that mean? Come on.
That it won't be taken lightly. That
What won't be taken lightly?
that they're speaking the wrong things in his name.
Well, what are they speaking? First of all, they're casting out demons in his name, meaning they're saying what? Demon, come out in the name of Yahushua. They're doing, if you need a precept, this happened during the time of Paul as well. There was a woman who was casting out demons in the name of Paul. This is a precept for this occurrence. It's the exact same thing that happened after Jesus Christ died and rose from the dead. This woman was out. She was out. Get that precept real fast, quick. All right. Tell everyone where you are. Throughout. Acts 16 and 16.
Acts chapter 16, verse 16. And it came to pass as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us.
She had a spirit of divination. What is a spirit of divination? She thought she could tell the future. She had a demon. So she had a demon and she was going around like Christians do. You're going to get that job. Is anybody in here with the first name J? The first name John? My name is John, church mother. Also, I forgot to tell you, Nate's wife, they call her the mother, the mother of the IUIC. That's what Nate's wife is called, the mother of the IUIC. Well, women were like that a long time ago as well. They would go to groups of people and she would go, "Is somebody in here with the name, first name J? My name is J. Janet. Janet, let me tell you something. You're going to get that job. Janet, this is going to happen to you. That's going to happen to you." She had a demon of divination on her. Here's the key to divination spirits. They're lying. They can't tell the future. It's a hustle. Keep going.
Which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying.
And she brought her masters much gain. How? Soothsaying, reading tarot cards, crystals, astrology, numerology, all of the things that if you have enough money, you can get someone to read out your entire life, you'll make them rich, and you'll go right back home to your ghetto and suffer and die. That's how it works. They're taking advantage of your simplicity. They're taking advantage of you. Continue.
Verse 17. The same followed Paul and us.
The same did what?
Followed Paul and us.
This same woman with this demon would follow Paul and them, the men with Paul. They would travel to a city. She would go to that city. They would get on a boat and go somewhere. She would get on a boat and go somewhere. She's doing the same thing fake Israelites try to do. Fake Israelites want everyone to think that they're the Israelite school of UPK under commanding General Yohana. They want to take our reputation, and now because of our reputation, they can go off and act like they're prophets of God. That's why Nate calls himself John the Baptist. John the Baptist earned a reputation. He did something big. Now Nate says, I'm John the Baptist. So now Nate can attach himself to all the work of John the Baptist while being a meaningless, half a effeminate every day, who I hear allegedly has AIDS. That's what I hear. Allegedly AIDS. That's what I hear. Eddie Long had definite AIDS. That's the bad one. Bishop Eddie Long had absolute AIDS. If you're going to choose between two AIDS, you want the alleged one. That's the one you want. So really, Nate has the good one, allegedly. Eddie Long had the bad one. Okay, the one you do not want. So Nate is doing all right in that case. Don't feel sorry. Yeah, you might want to stop being a bishop. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. I believe that was last year. Now he's taking the title of general, which they never had.
Now he's the general. I wonder why. I wonder why now he's a general. You see what that's what they always do. They want people to think that they are us. They want to take our reputation and now use it for themselves. Well, this woman would travel everywhere with Paul for that purpose. Keep going.
And cried, saying, "These men are the servants of the Most High God."
What was she saying?
These men are the servants of the Most High God.
She would point to Paul and go, "Those are the servants of God. Those are the servants of God." She wanted all the Israelite groups to come together,
Right.
and to all be one, because we're all the same. She said that Paul and his men were the servants of God. Keep going.
Which shew unto us the way of salvation.
And they showed us the way to salvation. What is she saying? What is she saying? Every fake Israelite does this. How did you find the truth? Well, I found the truth in the Isupk, but then I left there. And then now I'm building my own thing. You see, I learned it from Commanding General Yohana, but then I left him. And now I'm doing something great. But I learned what I learned from Commanding General Yohana. Nate had a Hebrew name when he was in this school. He learned about the 12 tribes in this school. He learned everything that he could take from the school and then leave and go, well, I'm an Israelite. I learned it from One West, but now follow me because I used to be in One West. That's the claim to fame to every fake Israelite. We should follow you because you used to be in the school. At one time back in the 90s, you sat in a class in Harlem. So now I have to what? Make you my purple bishop now because you left the school in 1992? No, thank you. Because the school is still here. The school is still here. Maybe I'll join that and not leave that. Maybe I'll buy the truth and sell it not. That's what the Bible says. So she's doing that. She's saying, you know, they taught me the truth. I know how to do this because they taught it to me. Continue.
Verse 18. And this did she many days. But Paul being grieved.
Paul was what?
Being grieved.
If you could get this, this is the whole thing. What was she saying? These men are the men of God. You read that, right? These men are the men of God. These men know the ways of the truth, and they taught me the ways of the truth. How did Paul feel about it?
But Paul being grieved.
Paul hated that. This is to understand the mindset of the UPK. He hated that. Now, I know no fake Israelite watching will understand this because you are her. So you won't get this. Right. This woman, read what she was saying again and then close out with how Paul felt about it.
Verse 17, the same follow Paul and us.
1 second.
Paul was grieved because when she did that, she was lightly speaking evil.
Thank you. Paul knew. Let me tie you all together, Katazar. Paul knew she was a liar. He knew she did not feel that way about him. How did he know for a fact she did not believe that Paul was a man of God? She did not believe that what Paul was teaching was the truth. It's a very simple way to know. Hazahah. Because she wasn't with him. Done. It's like saying people in the world do this. It's ridiculous, but people in the world do this all the time. How do you feel about your ex-wife? I love her. She is wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. Then why the hell aren't you together? People do that all the time. What about your ex-wife? Oh, listen, my ex-wife. She is a glory unto women. She is the most wonderful thing in the world. Really, really, she's too good for me, my ex. Well, then why aren't you together? You don't really mean that. You're saying that because you know she has a child with you. You don't want to talk about the woman in an evil way. But clearly, if you love the woman and she was so great, you'd be together right now, right? Well, if you love the UPK and if you love her so much, you would have never left. So Paul knows she's a liar. He knows she's only saying this to gain off of people. She's saying this to manipulate people into thinking that Paul's work is her work, and it's not. Read it from the top on down and close with that. You know, read from what she was saying about it.
Verse 17, the same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God, which shew unto us the way of salvation. Verse 18, and this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the Spirit.
He did not like this because he knew she was a liar and she was simply using his work to build something different than his work. Paul, being grieved by this, he did what?
Turned and said to the Spirit, I command thee in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her.
He knew she had a demon. What was she saying? These men are the men of God. These men know the way of truth. These men taught me the truth. Bitch, you have a demon. Now, you would never understand that without being in the school. It's something you can't get because you are easily flattered and you love friends. Oh, my God. You love fellowship. Fellowship is all you care about. Fellowshipping. You want to find some. You like these effeminate, these pride people. You're really just looking for a community to be part of. And you think you can be part of the Hebrew Israelite community. And we're all together. We're not the pride community. Right. We're not unified. What the F is your problem? What do you think? We're all one rainbow? All believing in the same thing, coming together? We're not. We're fighting a war. And the UPK is fighting for supremacy over the planet, over every Israelite group, every religion, every country, every God. We're not here to fellowship with all the other people who say they're Israelites. Paul cursed this woman and she went blind. That's what happened. That's the end of this story. She went blind. Now take me back to Hazahah. Come on, let me go back to Hazahah. You get the point, Hazahah. Go ahead.
Well, the last part was the same part. But for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me.
Keep going.
Verse 40. For he that is not against us is on our part.
For he that is not against us is on our part. Now read this precept to lock it down. Read that whoever is not with me is against me. You want to read that? And then I'll give you the breakdown, then I got to go. Now remember, Christ just said, he that is not against us is on our part. He that is not against us is on our part, meaning whoever is not against us is on our side. Keep going.
Go. Matthew 12 and 30. He that is not with me is against me.
Who said that? What is that? What color is that written in?
It's written in red, sir.
Is this a contradiction?
La, sir.
Absolutely not. He just said over there, who is not against us is on our part. Then he's saying over here, whosoever is not with me is against me. Now, is that a contradiction? No, it's the same thing, and I'll explain that. Jesus Christ said not to stop them because he knew for a fact that they were not going to cast out any demons. So why stop them? Because they're not going to do it. But what will they do? Them going out and teach, them going out on the streets and teaching and setting up churches will just help us. That's all it will do. It will simply help us. Thank the Lord for Sunday, because of Sunday, Christians go to church. A lot of those church services are filmed. I'm going to take that film and play them in this class. Do you understand? Church services help us. How many IUIC videos have I played? I haven't even begun to play IUIC videos. It's a good thing that they exist. It's a good thing that they tell their members to sign NDAs. It's a good thing that they say that you're allowed to sexually assault your wife. It's a good thing. Say again? To make them straight. The IUIC teaches that you have to sexually assault a woman who believes she's a man to correct the gayness. So you have to sexually assault her. How do I know that? I'm not in IUIC. How do I know? They had a video. That video did what? Young brother right here. What did that video do? Do you know? You. That because they put that video out, that video did what?
Helped us.
Give him a hand. Helped us. IUIC, keep making videos. I have the NDA. I have it. The NDA that they signed, I have it. Keep making people sign. Churches, keep dancing like idiots all Sunday so I can laugh at it in class. Keep doing it. It helps us. Don't stop them from teaching. Them teaching will help us. This woman went blind. You know what happened after she went blind? Great fear fell on everyone about Paul. Everyone was terrified of Paul because this woman who was acting like she could steal his work went blind. It helped. Now, what does Christ mean when he says, who is not with us is against us? Those fake Israelites were against Christ. They were against him. So they weren't with him. But their teaching was helpful because then Christ could use them to prove that what he's doing is right in comparison. In comparison. Everyone understands. Levi.
If I may, sir, can we teach that it also help us by the people that would otherwise come here that are not sincere? They will be on that side.
Okay, that's not what Christ is saying, but I get your point, and that's
Sure.
true. But what Christ is saying is that their teaching is so terrible that it's just going to highlight our perfection. That's what he means. It's not going to hurt us because they're never going to cast out a demon anyway. Why does Christ know for a fact that they will not cast out a demon? Ephraim?
Because it's not an
I wouldn't have asked it if it wasn't in the Bible. That's
no,
the point.
I was gonna say because it's not in his name.
No, it is in his name. That's exactly what the Bible says. They're casting out demons in his name, young brother.
Because if you're not with us, you're against us.
You're walking down the road, but it's something even straight at it because they speak evil of him lightly.
Come on.
Christ knows that even though they're casting out demons in his name, they don't like him. He knows that. Christ knows what you're talking about when you're not at camp. You understand? When you're not in front of people. He knows that the reason that you don't join him and his disciples is because you hate Christ. But when you go out to the camp, of course, you love Christ. He knows that you will never actually do a miracle because you don't like him. He knows that. You understand, Hazah? That's why he said, let him speak, because they will never perform a miracle because no one can perform a miracle who speaks evil of me even a little bit. And they speak evil of him. You get the point. Come on, Ethan.
I got a follow-up question real quick to that, if I may. Is it actually in connection with it? In John chapter 6, verse 67, it was he asked his 12 disciples, then said Yahushua unto the 12, will ye also go away? It's more like, can I break down the sense that it was more like he was teaching like I'm the bread of life and all the rest. When he went to was it Galilee?
Just say your point, warrior.
Yeah, that like he had a multitude of followers, but when they heard what he was teaching, most of them abandoned him except the 12. So I see how it's connected, and that's why in verse 67 he asked the 12, "Are you guys leaving too?"
Give him a hand because that's the truth. This much you know. He had at least 5,000 men in ranks because he fed them in rank. He fed 5,000 men, which means they weren't just people sitting and listening. They were standing up in order from 1 to 50, from 1 to 100, from 1 to 5,000, from 1 to 10,000. He had 5,000 men that were in rank, and they got fed in rank. So they were with him. They were in his army. And what happened? They all left. Why'd they leave? Because he said, this is my bread. This bread is my body. Eat it. This wine is my blood. Drink it. Once the 5,000 people heard that, they did not understand. They thought he was literally speaking. They thought he was actually saying, eat him and drink him. And they all left the truth. Then finally, even Judas left. He went to the 11 disciples and said, are you going to leave too? Because everybody left. You get my point. Next.
Like it, sir. Chicago just joined us.
Chi-Town, give him a hand. Any questions, Atlanta or Chi-Town? Well, let me do these announcements then.
Come on.
Nosotros somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York, desde 1969. Canales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres hombre hispano, negro o indio, nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido de Dios. Tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa. Pero su iglesia es, this word I struggle with. I'm trying not to ask Alexa. It's culpable in Spanish. Culpable. Is that right? Y'all know? Y'all from New York, you don't know. Y'all know or not? Who knows?
Come on, sir. That's
Is that right? You got it? You know. Go ahead. No, not that one. Culpable. Sí. Es culpable de todo lo que nos están pasando. Orally. All right. Let's keep it right. Next question.
Come on, sir. Brother.
Go ahead. You got it.
Slack. A brother asks, Salaki Alawab, can you break down Ecclesiasticus 9 and verse 10 through 13?
No problem. Whenever you
I have that, or I'll just 9 and 10 through 13. Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 10. Forsake not an old friend.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure.
Yeah, that goes right on the topic of not leaving the truth. Don't forsake an old friend. The Bible also says, prove a friend. Prove a friend. In the Israelite school of UPK, young warrior, there is a system to prove friendship. And we're not like your friends in the world, whatever drug addicts you went to high school with, whatever drug addicts you were co-Ds with back in the world. You think they're your friend. They're not. They're accomplices. They're whoever you got high with. Associates. Before you know it, when the court case comes, you will snitch on each other like it was going out of business. Like snitching was a sale. Like it was a sale on snitching. And you thought he was your friend. He wasn't. He was just some cat that had the same sickness as you. That's all. But in the Israelite school of UPK, there is a system to proving friendship, to making sure that only the best friends can stay in this school. And when you have them, don't leave them up. They've been tested up. Don't leave an old friend. What, to find some new one? Someone who hasn't been proven, who hasn't been through enough tragedy, who hasn't been through the wars by your side? It's time for that. Who has time for that? That's the precept. That's the breakdown. Anything else?
Captain Yatazak has a question. Salaki, sir.
Go ahead, warrior.
If I could, when Paul said, I speak as a man, fake Israelites use that to say they don't believe the New Testament and Paul's writings. What can be used to cut that logic of thinking?
Well, fake Israelites would never understand speak as a man because they think that everything they said is in the law. What Paul is saying, that the thing that I'm saying now is not in the law, but I am telling you to do it by my authority given from the law. Who else did that? Moses. What did Moses receive from the Most High God? The 10 Commandments. That's what he received from God, written by the finger of God. carved in stone, hot and glowing. He received that from God. He put it in the Ark of the Covenant because those stone tablets are written by the hand of God. God wrote them. That's what God gave to Moses. Where did not eating pork come from? Where did a man shall not wear what a woman wears come from? That came from Moses. You understand? From him. Where did the law about tithes and the law about wear your clothing and all the laws that we have about what you can sell and not sell, where did that come from? From Moses. Moses made our family traditions law. He had the authority to do it. The people knew he had the authority because he was given the 10 Commandments from God. So they knew that this man could give you rules and you had to obey them. Everyone understands. Paul went and said, I speak as a man, meaning this is not in the law. Give me one where Paul said that. Give me the one in 1 Corinthians. He's telling you this is not in the law. So if you're going to look in the law to read, find that you won't. But I have authority over these schools. I have authority which is confirmed in the book of Revelations, where the Most High God said that he is he that holds the seven stars in his right hand and the 7 candlesticks. Who are the 7 candlesticks? The schools that the Apostle Paul built. The Bible says the schools scattered throughout Asia Minor. Paul was over those schools. And those were the candlesticks in the hand of Christ, who held the 7 stars in his hand, which represents the 7 angels. Those schools were led by Christ. And Paul gave them rules that were not in the law, but you better follow them because Paul's authority is in the law. Go ahead and read it.
The book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereto.
Oh, forget, he's breaking it down all the way nice and flat for you right there. Listen, I'm speaking like a man. This is not written in the 10 Commandments in glowing stone. But if the Most High God confirms a man's words, then who can come against it? If God confirms this man's words, then who can say that these words don't come from God? That's the point. That's the precept that you want to break down from the fake Israelites. Was that you the one that broke them down?
I read it.
Okay,
that wasn't my question.
Okay, Slaki, Yatazak asked the question. Yatazak, give me the precept that the fake Israelites use.
So I think he was just saying that they used that to say that because he said he's speaking as a man, they discredit all
you
his
shouldn't
writings.
do it at all. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have to listen to this fake Israelite. Who knows why? Kataza? Because he spoke as a man. So F him. Okay. So you telling me that this fake Israelite is saying that if a man says that you don't have to listen to it? Is that what he's saying, Kataza? I mean, Yatazak. Ask Yatazak that question. Is the fake Israelite saying, since Paul said, I speak as a man, then we don't have to listen to it? I've been breaking this down for too long that I want to go to an island somewhere like for a week because I'm sick of saying it. I'm sick of breaking this down like so many other things. If someone is telling you, you don't have to listen to it because a man is saying it, why do I have to listen to the man that said that? Why are you never the man that I don't have to listen to? Paul, I don't have to listen to him because he spoke as a man. I don't have to follow Commanding General Yohana. Why? Because you can't follow man. If I don't have to listen to men or follow men, why do I have to sit here and listen to your dumb ass then? You're a man. Can't I just go? Can't we stop talking? Because you're a man. Why are you the only man that I have to listen to? When you tell me not to listen to Paul, guess what? I have to listen to that. You said don't listen to Paul. I have to go, okay. Why can't I disrespect you? This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to disrespect Paul. I'm not going to disrespect the men above me. But I am going to disrespect you because you're a man. So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to walk away from you because you're a stinking, dirty man. And you just told me I don't have to listen to men. Can I go on or do I have to break this down 1,000 times with 1,000 precepts? Because I can. Please.
Captain, I did respond to the comments you said, because he's a man and kind, sir.
All right. Listen, I don't follow man, so I'm not listening to that bullshit, that mess. I can't follow no man. So I'm not listening to him at all. All right, because he's a man. Next.
On the topic of fake Israelites, a brother asked Salakia Adawan, if I may ask with your grace, as a follow-up on my last week question, can I get a breakdown on 2nd Maccabees 15 and 32 through 37?
That's a lot of precepts, warrior, for my time.
So I glanced
But
over it.
He did ask with such grace and kindness, but I'll try. You want to say something, warrior?
Oh, kind, sir. I just glanced over it. I think it's about Nicanor, and apparently fake Israelites have some type of holy day called the Feast of Nicanor.
You're making them new stuff now. I never heard of that. The Feast of Nicanor. That's a whole. They're going in deep into the lying bag now. They're digging deep into the bag of lies. Have you brothers ever heard of the Feast of Nicanor? Damn, that's a new one even for the young brothers. I thought sometime I'm too old for the new lies. I only really know the old lies. So I don't know what the Feast of Nicanor is. All right. So I don't know who Nicanor is or none of that. I'm sure he's a wonderful brother. I'm sure. He's not. You know him. Well, the brother said he's not wonderful. So F him. F Nicanor. Give him a hand. All right, let's learn about Nicanor, everybody.
Second Maccabees chapter 15 and verse 32.
2nd Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 32. And shewed them vile Nicanor's head, and the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. Verse 33.
You can just get down to the feast. I'm sure there's something about a feast or something. Yeah, all right. See me one more time, warrior, when you're able. Go ahead. Take your time.
Khan, verse 36. And they ordained all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which is in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mardochaeus Day.
Yeah, let me help you out with that, warrior. There's also a precept that says that the people at this town did not eat the gristle on a chicken. That's a battle I got in years ago where they say you can't eat chicken gristle. What is it? Is it called gristle? The part at the top of the bone. Not that one. They say is the part. What's the part on the chicken that's at the top? That joint. They say you cannot eat that. That was a battle I got in. Can you believe that? The ligament that connects bone to bone. They said you can't eat that. I had to battle somebody over that chicken ligament. You understand? That's what you in for. That's what you're going to be going for. Chicken ligament battles. We on crack and dying of heroin. I got a battle about chicken ligaments. Anyway, you made a good choice. Well, give him a hand. I'm passing it to you in about 2 months. Get ready. So now they did that. That doesn't mean we have to do it forever. It is not a commandment to do it forever. You find that in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. The things that have to be laws forever. Okay, all the laws are practical. You need me here? Oh, I appreciate you, Ward. So what? All the laws that you have to do forever are in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. The rest of them are feasts that people can keep or they cannot keep. Think about it like Juneteenth. Juneteenth is not unlawful. Cinco de Mayo. That's not unlawful. You want to go to a Cinco de Mayo festival, have a good time, huh? Enjoy yourself. We're going out to Buffalo, I think. Aren't we recent soon? Next week, we're going to be in Buffalo at the Juneteenth celebration of solemnity. The Juneteenth celebration. We're not worshiping Juneteenth. It's not a high holy day. But we are going, and the people that want to celebrate Juneteenth are welcome to do it. The people that want to celebrate Cinco de Mayo are welcome to do it. But these are not solemn assemblies of God. They are not days where no boss would be allowed to make you go to work. They are not days of sacrifice in the Old Testament. They are not high holy days. There are days when you decide to have a party. If you want to worship Nicanor, enjoy. In the UPK, we don't do that. We don't follow the Feast of Nicanor, and we don't have our own personal Juneteenth celebration or Cinco de Mayo celebration either. You want to be with Nicanor, and Nicanor all you want. Nicanor tell you sore. But in the UPK, we don't do it, and we don't have to, because we follow the traditions that were handed down to us.
Right.
You're a brand new Israelite group. The IUIC started in 2006. Are you out of your effing mind? You know how long Commander General Yohana had been in the truth? By 2006. You know how long? I'm young. I've been in the truth 2006, 10 years. Something like that. Come on, man. I can't follow some fake Israelite, brand new, fresh milk on your breath, been through nothing. You haven't been to jail. We have. You haven't fought the city council. We have. You haven't had your life threatened and had to physically fight. We have. You haven't lost enough wives to stand next to us. What women have you lost for the truth? You can't stand with us. What children have you lost for the truth? You cannot stand next to us. You're too young. Fake Israelite groups are just too young. They're babies. Enjoy Nicanor. Enjoy. I'm not stopping you up. However, you can lose my invitation. I pray you understand. Next. Asher, the water warrior, the water for bringing the scotch. I appreciate it. The scotch is excellent. I appreciate the scotch too. I can the water. No sign of Christ. Go ahead.
So, like, sir, I have a few questions I want to go over for Isaiah chapter 1.
You got it.
Isaiah chapter 1 on the 8th verse. It says, the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Is that referencing to Zion as being alone and isolated and surrounded by enemies, or?
Yeah, and surrounded by enemies who want her garden.
Got it.
You get my point. You're a house, a cottage, a little, not a castle, a little cottage in the middle of a beautiful, what's the vegetable they use?
An oasis, or cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Well, people want cucumbers. You get my point? They want to eat your cucumbers. And what are you in? A cottage. Well, bad men are coming to eat your cucumbers. That's Israel. Israel has Puerto Rico, the port of riches. They have Venezuela, full of natural resources and oil. They have the North American Indians land here, so-called, with every pleasure you can imagine. They have all the islands of Haiti and the West Indian islands. They're a cottage in a garden that would satisfy thirst and hunger for the world. You don't have protection out because bad men want your island. You understand? That's Israel. That's Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 9, it says, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So when it says left unto us a very small remnant, is that talking about people who can protect us?
No, it's talking about people that require the Lord's protection. How do you know for a fact it's talking about that? Because of who it referenced.
Left unto us.
Who it referenced right there in front of you.
The Lord of hosts.
Sorry,
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. What would have stopped Sodom and Gomorrah from being destroyed? If peradventure I find 10 men in the city who keep the will of God, I will not destroy the city. Well, Lord, what if you find 8 men? Somebody pull it for him real fast. There was a whole debate with the angels of God and Abraham. Abraham did not want Sodom and Gomorrah to be destroyed. Let me tell you, idiot, something. I don't want America to be destroyed. Great Britain to be destroyed. My brothers live there. My sisters live in Great Britain, in England, in London, in Birmingham. I don't want the same people that I'm going out every week to teach. I don't want to know that all of them are going to die soon. I want them to live. I don't want them to die. I have to get enough of them to change so that the Most High can save us. That's why we go out in the street. We don't go out in the street to teach, to get people killed, because we're happy that World War III has started and that our brothers and sisters who we see every day on our slaveries, on our travels, all of them will be dead soon. We don't want that. I want them to live. So I go out on the street corner, like you're going out this Saturday in Harlem, like you go out in Texas, like you go out in Chicago, in Houston, in Dallas, in Mississippi, in Memphis. Why are you there? But not if not for to save lives. Well, Abraham wanted Sodom and Gomorrah to survive. He wanted them to live. And I'll show you. If you have it, read it. Asher,
I got it.
you got it.
The book of
the microphone. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 23. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy
Let
the
me catch you up.
righteous?
There was 3 angels that came to Abraham. And they sat with him by a fire. And the angels said, we're headed to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy the city. Abraham knows that Lot is there. He knows all of those farmers and herdsmen that were at one time with him are now in Sodom and Gomorrah. He doesn't want them to die the same way I don't want Chicago to die, or Atlanta to die, or Harlem to die. We don't want these places to die. Abraham did not want Sodom and Gomorrah to die. The angels said, we're going to Sodom and Gomorrah to unalive everyone there. Abraham said this. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?
Wait a minute, angels. I know the Lord sent you to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy everyone. Are you going to destroy the innocent as well as the guilty? Are you going to destroy all of them together? Keep going.
Verse 24. Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the
Angels, what if
50?
there are 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Will you then still destroy those 50 and so you can destroy the city? Will you kill them too? If there's 50 righteous people, keep going.
Verse 25. That be far from thee to do after this manner.
Listen, Abraham, boy, oh boy. Listen, he had the spirit of Christ. This is the spirit of Christ. You're an angel of God. You would never do something so unfair, would you, my Lord? You would never kill these 50 men simply because you want to destroy this city. Would you? That would be far from you to do, my Lord. Continue.
To slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Won't the Most High do right? Brother, this argument is the argument that Christ had to make for your life when you should have been shot that night. All of us have been through that thing in life where we should have been shot. They were in our house, crawling around, looking to kill us. We didn't get shot. We should have went to jail for 25 years. We should be dead. Many of you don't know what happened in the spiritual world. This argument was taking place between Christ and Satan. Satan saying, you deserve this punishment. It should happen to you. Christ saying, Lord, if you give him a chance, he will glorify you because of your mercy. This argument is happening. This argument happened over Sodom and Gomorrah. Lord, you're the judge of all heaven and earth. Surely you will not destroy righteous men simply so you can destroy the wicked. You would never do something like that. Continue.
Verse 26. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city.
Listen, this is the greatest thing about, this is why it is so great to worship a living God and not an idol. Because you can change a living God's mind. You can talk him out of something. That is beautiful in my sight. The Lord can decide to kill my friends, my brothers, my family. And I can say, but my Lord, if you do this, it will bring shame on your people. They will hate you because you've unalived them. Give them mercy, Lord. And because he's not Allah, and he's not Buddha, and he's not some wooden cross or some stone statue, he will sit and listen to you, and he will say, you know what, you're right. This is what I'll do for you. Peradventure. Peradventure is like if. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city.
Just like you said, 50. If I find 50 righteous men in Sodom, go ahead.
Then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
Let me tell you something. Not only will I not kill the righteous simply to kill the wicked, I will save the wicked to save the righteous. I won't kill the wicked in Sodom and Gomorrah simply because 50 men stood up to be righteous in such an evil city. That is the spirit of Christ. That is why the prophets wanted Christ to come, because this is love. This is not the thing on Valentine's Day cards. This is not what your friends talk about while you're getting high. This is the real thing. The drug addicts, the sodomites will live because I chose not to be a sodomite. Barakatah Yahweh, while Yahweh shot. They'll live. They'll live. Like we've been teaching you forever. Do you think that gay rights activists love gay people? They hate you. They can't stand you. Because if they loved you, they would know that they have to make sure that you change so you can live. Instead, they encourage your foul behavior, knowing that death is at the door. They don't love you. You're like some dumb bitch that thinks that every flattering word means she's loved, when correction is what shows love. The Lord said, no, the Lord said, hold your point. The Lord said, no problem. If there's 50 righteous people there, I won't kill anybody. I won't kill any of the sodomites that are there. If there's 50 men who are not wicked like those sodomites. Continue quickly.
Verse 27. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes.
You see that? Abraham knew how to ask a question. It's an honorable thing to know how to ask a question. Okay. Everybody understand? It's a good thing. It shows your quality to know how to ask a question. To say, I am a humble man, and I know I should not speak, but I will lower myself to ask one more question to you, my Lord. Continue.
Cut out of a gun. Verse 28. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50.
What if there's only 45 men, Lord? If I may be so presumptuous to ask. What if there's only 45 men who are righteous? Continue.
Of the 50 righteous, wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5?
If we're missing 5, will you kill everyone just because we fall 5 short of 50? Will you do it then? Keep going.
And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
You know what? You convinced me again. If there's 45 men there, I will not kill anyone in the city. I will not kill the wicked or the righteous. I will not kill the wicked or the righteous. Everyone will live if there's 45 righteous men in Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead.
Verse 29, and he spake unto him yet again, and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake.
You convinced me again. If there's 40 men, I'll save the life of everyone in the city. Go ahead.
And verse 30, and he said unto him, oh, let not the Lord be angry.
My Lord, I got to ask you one question. Please don't be angry at me for asking this question. This is an honorable way to ask a question, right? The Most High heard it and knew he had to yield to such grace. Read it one more time.
Verse 30, and he said unto him, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there.
Keep going.
Verse 31, and he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. 32, and he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak.
Let me fast forward for you. This went all the way down to 10. To 10. That's the negotiated number that would have saved the entire city of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what we're going through right now. That's the point I'm trying to make. You're a wise man, do I? That's my point. This is us. for 10 people, the Lord said, I will not destroy the city if there are 10 righteous men in Sodom and Gomorrah. The angels got up after they made that deal, and it was one good nigga in the whole city. That's that. The deal was for 10. There was one there. And the Most High God saved him and his daughters and his wife. And then even his wife missed the city. She missed her home. This is what you are doing today in Harlem, in Houston, in Great Britain. You understand? We're not going out on the street and on the internet teaching to try to convert everyone on the planet to being a good person. But what we're trying to do is show the Most High God that we are good people. And maybe, just maybe, he'll save my brother who is not. Maybe he'll save my sister who is not, because he'll look at my conduct, my life, and he'll save my people for my sake. That's what my king did for me. Peradventure, maybe I'll do it for my brothers and sisters. Everyone understands. You understand, Lee?
Sir.
Now, just read that with that in mind. Now you understand.
Yes, so that small remnant was the people that can be saved.
We're the 30, the
Sir.
20. Now, because this little cottage in the forest needs 30 people, 10 people to be righteous so that God protects the cottage from the bad men round about. We just need some people to say, I'm going to be a good person, man, which is all we're trying to do in here. We're trying to turn you into a good person, a kind person, a generous, a caring, a courageous person, because good people get God's protection. That's what this precept is about. You understand? Please, 1 second, Ephraim. Go ahead.
The next one, verse 18. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Meaning that the slate will be clean.
Though your sins be as scarlet, meaning if you repent, if you change, then God will protect this cottage. If you change. If you stop getting high, stop smoking weed, stop being a criminal, stop being a Christian, stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, stop assaulting children sexually, stop assaulting women sexually, stop being disgusting, stop acting like a Christian so much, and you would get God's protection. Keep going.
Verse 27, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment and her converts with righteousness. The converts is talking about Israel that's converting back to righteousness.
So thy sins be as scarlet,
Got
you
you.
shall be as white as snow. Those are the converts.
Now, there's the last two that I need clarification on. Verse 29, for they shall be ashamed of the oaks which ye have desired, and ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen.
You need me to break that down for you?
Baba Kasha. Because then the verse 31, it confuses me, where it says, and the strong shall be as tow, and the marker of it as a spark, and they shall burn together, and none shall quench them.
That's an excellent precept. I'll break it down for you when you're ready. Just start from where you want to start.
Concert, verse 20, let's start at verse 28. And the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together.
The destruction of the who?
The transgressors.
The people that committed the crime.
And of the sinners.
And of the sinners. Who are sinners?
Israelites.
Correct. Who follow the transgressors.
Correct.
The devils, the Edomites, the oppressors. They're the transgressors. We're the sinners. We follow them. We worship their God, follow their customs. Why do you think that blacks and Hispanics love crime? What do you love doing? Selling drugs? Where do you think you got that from? Huh? You think that's a black or Hispanic thing, being a drug dealer? It's not. Who do you think murders for money? Black people? You better read a book. That's white culture to be a murderer. That's white culture to kill and steal and lie. That is what white people do. They're the transgressor. We're the sinner that have decided to join them. You die together then. Continue.
And they shall forsake the Lord. And they that forsake the Lord shall be consumed.
The sinners have forsaken the Lord to be with the transgressors, and they get burned with the transgressor. The precept is the lake of fire that consumeth the devil and his angels. You understand? The devil meaning our oppressor, the angels meaning the people who work for our oppressor, your preachers, right? Your Creflo Dollars and TD Jakes. Keep going.
Verse 29. For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which ye have desired.
Of the what? Spell that word.
OAKS. So
Of the what?
oaks.
Of the oak. They shall be ashamed of the
riches, the power.
OAKS.
Yes, oak, like
What
a
is-
tree.
Like a what?
Tree.
Like a what?
Tree.
What are we talking about?
We're
Like
talking
a
about,
tree.
yes,
Like a tree. What is a tree made of?
wood.
Like a tree. Trees are made of wood. You're going to be ashamed of that wood. The wooden cross. Your idols are of wood and stone. You're going to be ashamed of that wooden cross one day. Right now, that wooden cross makes you president. It makes you a member of Omega Psi Phi because you're a Christian, Alpha Phi Alpha. You're a good Christian. That wooden cross you wear around your neck gets you to be chief of police. You're in the right religion. You understand? There's a religion you need to succeed in America. I don't have to tell you which one that is. There's a religion you need to succeed in Great Britain, to succeed in Trinidad, in Puerto Rico, in Mexico. That's one of my stories tonight. There's a certain religion you need to be in. One day you'll be ashamed that you worship that tree, that you worship that wood. One day you'll be ashamed. Continue.
And ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen.
And you'll be ashamed because there was this beautiful garden. You had your own garden, remember? The cucumbers? You didn't like that one. You liked that garden, their glorious church, their glorious land that you wanted so much. You want to be rich, don't you? I see it in you. You would do anything to be rich. What would you do? What would you do for a meeting with Jay-Z? Huh? Anything. Let me ask you a question. P. Diddy asked you the same question. What would you do to get a record deal? P. Diddy asked you that. Oh, you gave him an answer. Got
For that precept, as far as choosing the wrong garden, can we use that for either we left our original habitation or when it says that we hit ourselves among
absolutely. You could definitely lose it for losing the Garden of Eden.
the waters?
Because we had a paradise of our own. We didn't care about that. Why? Because we wanted their paradise. We had glorious cities, Jerusalem. We didn't want it. We wanted their city. You're going to be ashamed of that one day. You're going to be ashamed that you did not care about your own society. You just wanted another people's society. One day that will bring you great shame. Continue.
Sir, last verse. Verse 31. And the strong shall be as tow, T-O-W.
You know what that is?
No, I was looking up right now. It is to pull a hole, an act or instance of towing, something being told under one's guidance and one's charge as a follower, admirer, companion.
All right. Say again. Raise your hand, Ephraim. Go ahead.
A line or rope for towing.
Well, that it's all basically saying the same thing. The strong shall be weak. The thing getting towed is weak. What's strong? The thing doing the towing. If you're pulling something, that thing needs you to pull it, which means the thing pulling is strong. The thing being pulled is weak. The weak are going to be strong. Right now, you think, the Christian church, your fraternity, your give me something that people rely on that think is everything.
The social club.
The social club, the police, Esau's military, the Freemasons, Scientologists. Oh, they're mighty. They're powerful. They got so many people. That's why the Purple Pigs march all those people down the street in Brooklyn to save Kyrie Irving, to save a man with $300 billion. He was in big trouble that day. because Kyrie Irving is strong. And you want to save him. You want to help rich people. That's your life, helping rich people. Kyrie Irving might lose $1. Let's make sure he gets 500 million, not 400 million. Let's help him. One day, the strong will be weak, and you will regret giving up your strength for them. One day. 1 second. Continue.
And the marker of it as a spark.
And the marker of it, what's the marker of the weak? Meaning the sign that says, this is your city. This is your paradise. This is where rich people live. This is the place of the garden of rich people. That's the marker. Like when you come into New York, it says, welcome to New York City. That's the marker of New York City. There's a marker that says, this is, what's that monstrosity that Donald Trump lives in? I went to it in Florida. I couldn't believe seeing that place. Mar-a-Lago. It is insane to even see. Come on.
Sorry.
No.
My apologies. And the maker of it as a spark.
It's same thing. Exactly the same thing. The maker of what? The strong thing. The maker of the strong. The maker of the towable thing. Of the thing that is towed. Meaning this great city, this great empire, this is what made it. This is really a spark that's going to destroy it. Do you understand? It's a spark. You look at it like, it's glorious. It's beautiful. It's everything you're really wanting in life. All you want to do is be rich. That's how P. Diddy, Puff Diddy, Bill Cosby, all of these people are Donald Trump. They know that poor people would do anything to be like them. And they use it to sexually abuse you. And to make you sexual victims, when you should have some integrity, because one day they will be weak and you will be strong. Their maker will be a spark. A spark starts a fire. You understand? Keep going.
And they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them.
I think you understand that. Was there anything else? Benjamin.
When we was talking about Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah and all that, right? I was going to ask if I could use the precept of when the angels went to their house and try to get them out as a precept for when the chariots, will come to people and take them out of modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean?
Okay, give me more. What do you mean by that? I get what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
But how is that related to the angels and when Christ returns?
Meaning, when the chariots come down, fire is coming down from heaven again.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be saved out of our homes in that regard, sir.
Right. Okay, that's true if that's what you're saying. But now, specifically, when the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah came, the wicked sodomites of the city were not going to be saved. But Lot was going to be saved. They wanted to have sex with Lot, which meant that the judgment of the city was just. That's the point. Remember, if 10 people were righteous, the Most High would have saved even those sodomites. But only one man was righteous, so they were going to die. As they were going to rescue Lot, the men of the city tried to sexually assault Lot, which meant enough of this place. Do you understand? This place is beyond redemption. And that's a good precept for Pride Month. We're going to play that video. Actually, what's my time like? Let's do it. Let's do the Pride thing right now. If you don't mind, Corey, I appreciate it. The water. Let's do this. Let me show you Sodom and Gomorrah right here. Recently, this happened in Philadelphia. You want to say something, Ephraim?
I'll just say, if I may say real quick, this is so heavy, the Sodom and Gomorrah thing. I heard people saying on YouTube, like, if the Most High wants to do something, you can't basically change his mind, and if he doesn't want to do something, you can't make him do it. But this scripture proves that false.
There's more precepts than that proves that false. Our God is the living God, which means you can talk to him, you can appeal to his sense of mercy, and he'll change his mind. Come on. Come on now. If you want examples, I can be here all night. Nineveh, Moses, when the Most High was going to kill every Israelite because they made a golden calf, and Moses changed his mind. And then you go to Jesus Christ, who ultimately changed his mind. Everyone understands. Let me show you Pride Month. This is for all you sodomites out there listening, wearing purple shirts. Pride Month is one of the what is one of the colors on the Pride rainbow? Purple. Can someone look up? Each one of those colors on the Pride rainbow represents something, right? Can any random brother just tell me what does purple represent on the Pride rainbow? Can you pause and show me the Pride rainbow? Is that too much to ask technologically? Yeah, just show me the Pride rainbow. We're going into a Pride story. There was a Pride parade in the city of Philadelphia. Asher told me about today, and there was a riot at the Pride parade because the gay Palestinian protesters fought the regular gay protesters, right? And they clashed. Hold your point. They clashed with each other and had a giant fight. This is the spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah. Before we go into that, here's the gay flag, I guess, the gay flag. You see purple at the bottom? Show them purple. Everyone sees purple. Now, what does purple represent in the gay flag? Ephraim?
What it says here, the original red meant life. Orange.
Red, well, slow it down. Red meant life. Go ahead.
Orange means healing.
Orange means healing. Keep going.
Yellow means sunlight.
Yellow represents the sun. I don't know why, but it's sunlight. All right, go ahead.
Green means nature.
Green means nature, the grass, the trees, I'm assuming. Go ahead.
Turquoise means magic.
Turquoise means
magic and art.
Which one is magic? Which one is turquoise? What's turquoise? Oh, that blue.
Light blue.
That's okay, solid. That one is magic.
Yeah. Indigo is serenity.
Okay, skip me down to the purple if you don't mind.
It's not purple, it's violet.
Violet is the same thing. The violet and purple is the same thing.
It means spirit.
The spirit of being gay is purple. Purple on the gay flag represents the spirit of being gay. The Lavender Lads. That's a thing you should go look up if you don't know about that. Well, the gays had a parade. Can I get this on TikTok? Come on, Asher. The LGBT community had a parade in Philadelphia on the first day of Pride Month. Here's the problem. Can you read what the problem was? You have the writing that you showed me, Asher. Read the writing first, and then just play the gay people. I mean, the LGBT community.
Concert. Watch as hundreds of thousands of people gathered in the center of Midtown Philadelphia to celebrate Pride Month and participate in the annual Philly Pride March and Parade yesterday. However, later in the day, things quickly took a rough turn when pro-Palestine protesters, known as Queers for Palestine Philly.
Damn, stop right there. Queers for Palestine. That's when the thing went left up. The Queers for Palestine, go ahead.
Blocked the parade.
They wouldn't let the regular old LGBT who was trying to march. Damn it. What are the name? The LGBT Palestine people stopped the regular old LGBT people from marching. Keep going.
Bringing it to a halt and causing tensions to intensify. A few hours later, the Philadelphia Pride Parade descended into chaos as multiple fights broke out among other Pride attendees.
Now play it. And everybody just started fighting like Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead. Send it to the brother. All right? Was that it?
That was it, sir.
Happy Pride Month, y'all. And I'm sure that you had a wonderful celebration this year. Don't you understand that Commanding General Yohana and the UPK, we're trying to help you LGBT people. We're trying to help you. I know you didn't have a father. I know your father abused you and sexually assaulted you. Your uncle sexually assaulted you. Don't you understand that the LGBT community has never had a righteous man in their life? Now you have one. We're giving you the love that you always needed. We're going to teach you soft cats how to be men. We're going to teach you how to be a man. You don't know how to be a man. You've been abused by your uncles, by your father. Your mother was enmeshed with you. A lot of you LGBT brothers, you had a mother that you had to treat like she was your wife. You had a father that either abused you or wasn't around. All you had was the church to be a role model for you. You LGBT people, we're trying to teach you how to be men. We're showing you masculinity. We're the only ones that care about you. The rest of society will enjoy your music and your piano playing and your Broadway shows and your fun, and then let you die in a hospital. No one cares about you. We're teaching you how to be men. Do you have what I sent you? The water. You see that? That is the spirit of the Pride Parade. That's it. Violence. Men who are abusers of mankind. Men who want to hurt other people and hurt themselves. Let me ask you a question for you, come on. For you what? Say what? For you LGBT people out there. I'm going to ask you what I ask every brother that goes to strip clubs, every brother that frequents prostitutes. How do you go to a prostitute knowing that the only reason she's willing to have sex with you is because she was molested as a child? If you like strip clubs, there would be no strip clubs without child abuse. So as you are giving her money for a lap dance, do you think to yourself, I am profiting because this father abused her? That's why I'm able to have sex with this woman. If she was not abused sexually as a child, I would not have a stripper in my lap. I'm asking you gay men a question, you LGBT men a question. How do you have a gay relationship, an LGBT relationship, knowing that your partner would not be your partner if he wasn't abused sexually? How do you even do it? You know what happened to him because it happened to you. How do you take advantage of your LGBT partner knowing what happened to him? Why don't you care about your LGBT partner enough to say, we shouldn't do this because I was abused as a child and I'm sure you were too. So maybe we shouldn't do this. They don't care about you, but you are a lot of fun. You're like Sexy Red. That's you. You're a lot of fun. No one wants to know about your abuse. They just want to enjoy you. Well, I'm trying to make you a man. This is how you become a man. You stop being selfish, stop caring about having fun, stop caring about your own pleasure, and care about the people who have been hurt. That's what men do. And then you can shake off this sickness that you would not even have if you weren't abused. How do I know this? Play the thing I just sent you just now. I think it took me 30 seconds to look it up. I found out about it just now as the tape was playing. What does that say?
These are domestic violence statistics. Domestic violence peaks more than ever for the LGBTQIA plus community.
For who?
For the LGBTQIA plus community.
Play what you have if it's pertinent.
Black and African American members of the LGBTQIA plus community are more likely to experience physical violence. Around 44% of lesbian and 61% of bisexual women have experienced forms of rape and physical violence by an intimate partner, as compared to 35% of straight women.
Is that the society you want to be part of? Is that it? Is that somehow freedom? The freedom to what? Be assaulted? You like that. That's what you want? I understand. We don't like it. We don't like people to be hurt and to be sexually abused. We don't want children to be abused. So I guess we'll have to do it by ourselves. I guess we'll have to be the ones that will give the example that everyone else should follow. Because the Christian church does not care about your pain. They just want you to be proud. Everyone understands. Next. Chicago, Atlanta. Am I missing something you wanted to say?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, you got it up. Go ahead, Atlanta.
Slocky, sir. If I can get a general breakdown on Matthews 10 and 38.
Please. Go ahead, Warrior.
Awakad. This is the book of Matthew 10 and 38. And he that taketh not his cross and follows after me is not worthy of me.
You want to break down on that?
Awakad.
Meaning what the cross that Jesus Christ carried. Jesus Christ, many of you might not know this. Jesus Christ was forced to carry the top half of his cross all the way to the place where he was going to be crucified. He had to carry it there. Why? Because that was the common practice. Matter of fact, Salakia, I believe he carried the entire cross. I believe that's what it says. Jesus Christ carried his cross to the place where the cross would be put into a hole in the ground, hoisted up high, and he would be put on the cross. He carried it first before he got there. And Jesus Christ is saying, if you don't carry yours, then you're not worthy to follow him. Let me break it down to you in the simplest form. There is a burden that you have to carry to follow Christ. If you think you can follow him and not carry that burden, you're not really following him. The IUIC believes that they can follow Christ, but believe in monogamy. How easy would life be if the UPK believed in monogamy? Oh my God. Oh, we'd be like the Mormons. The Mormons used to be polygamous, but then the Mormons vowed to be monogamous. You know what they got? Utah. That's what they got. The Normans used to believe in having multiple wives, but they made a deal with the government. And they said, we'll give up multiple wives. We'll be monogamous. The government gave them the state of Utah. That's what happened. Am I making this up? You know I'm not. I don't make up anything. How easy would it be for us to give up the belief, the knowledge that God permits a man to have multiple wives? That's why the IUIC did it. That and because Nate's wife seduced him because he's weak and she's strong. You're going to have to carry this cross up. You're going to have to believe in a thing that everyone hates, and you're going to have to walk it down. You're going to have to do it. Come on. You want to say something?
A brother left a comment. Nasty Nate made fun of Christ on the cross as well, sir, showing IUIC will not carry a cross.
How did I forget that? Yes, he did. Nate made fun of Christ on the cross, laughed at it, because he's an effeminate man. And allegedly, he has AIDS. Allegedly. Keep going.
That was the end of
Slack. All right, everybody understands. I played the video, right?
Slack, I'm not sure. Brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Levi, go. I'm sorry. Atlanta, go ahead. So you get the point about carrying a cross. So that's your cross. What's your cross? You don't want your family to know you're in the truth. Your wife is going to leave you because you joined One West. There's 1,000 things that become your cross, your burden that you have to carry that mean you're going to suffer because you're in the truth. That's your cross. Can you give me some things that might be things you might have to suffer for being in the truth? Give me some things. How about people saying you're a cult? You're in a cult. We carry it. You get my point? We're in a cult. Our cult is better than your church.
Right.
We just carry it. Whatever you think. You know, we're dangerous. We're in a gang. You know, we hate women. We hate women. I remember when the IUIC thought that women were going to leave the UPK. The IUIC had some group. What's the group they had? Is Abaji out there? Well, good. It was some. It was had a name.
It was like a black op group.
Black Ops.
It was black op. You can't say it was Chalkma was the head of it.
They had the Black Ops group that went and pretended to be women. Went into all of your wives' Facebook accounts saying, "I'm Sister Yamakamaka." The ISUPK hates women. They hate women. You should leave them. You know what women did? Flock in here. Women like us.
Right.
I don't know if you knew that. Women can't get enough of this gangster shit that we giving out of.
Right.
They cannot get enough of it. The IUIC said they hate women. They want multiple women. They too rough on women. Women said, "Where do I sign up?" That's what women said. Come on.
My sister said, "We love our brothers and husbands."
Give her a hand. She knows. She'd pop a balloon for IUIC nigga in a minute. She'd go, "No, thank you," and pop the balloon. Well, that's a cross to carry. You know, we believe in having multiple ribs, multiple women. We're evil. We're a cult. We're this, we're that. Carry it. Carry it, Ak. You understand, Atlanta?
Kawakad.
Keep going.
Verse 39. He that findeth his life shall lose it.
Here we
And he
go.
that lose
Here you go, Atlanta. He that finds his life shall lose it. Because you don't want to suffer persecution from being associated with my cult. You leave my cult and you lose your life. That's what happens. You don't like what your mom says about the school, do you? Oh, what does your mom say? Y'all tell me about what your mom say about me. Your mom cannot stand me. Your wife in the world hates me so much, it's ridiculous. I carry it and I don't even remember it after you tell me. I could care less. Everybody understands. Because guess what happens in about 3 months? Your wife is sitting in the truth with her head covered. Sorry for everything she ever did. I've been through this too many times. Carry the burden. Don't run from it. Don't go, "Oh, my wife said if I join, she's going to leave me. I can't see the kids. My mama said I'm in a cult. My friends say I'm crazy." Carry it. What you'll find is that they'll look at you as a strong man because you carry a heavy burden. You understand, Atlanta?
Kawakad.
Keep going.
And he that loses his life for my sake shall find it.
You understand? So instead of trying to leave the truth because society doesn't like us, leave society for the truth and you'll live forever and society will die. You understand, Atlanta?
Kawakad.
Anything else? No sweat. Next.
It's like, sir, Chicago has a question.
Chi-Town.
Kawakad, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, sir.
Oh, what's going on?
Not much, sir. Quick question. The sister had a question, sir. She wanted to know if there were prophets, if the Lord would have prophets in other nations or allow other nations or put the anointing on, say, like a Hamite, because you know a lot of Hamite churches and they calling themselves prophets and men of the Lord and things like that. So I wanted you to clarify that for the sister, sir. If you could, Baba.
You gotta say that one more time. I didn't get any of that.
Oh, Salaki, sir.
Sister, first of all, what is an anointing? What does that mean?
Well, you know how they say that they've been anointed by the Lord to.
Right. What do they mean when they say that?
Salaki, I believe they're saying like the Lord put the Holy Spirit on them to be prophets, to prophesy the future and see visions and to teach the word of the Lord.
Okay, and so she's saying, who has the anointing?
What she was asking about, because she's seen some Hamites in different nations on the internet, and they're calling themselves prophets, and they're talking about visions they've had, and dreams they had, and they're also trying to teach the scriptures. So I was telling the sister that they can't be prophets because they're not of the nation. They're not of Israel. If they are,
that's the fact. Are you asking me for a precept, or are you asking me for a precept, or what are you at? Are you asking me, can Africans be chosen by God to teach and prophesy?
Or any other nation outside of Israel, sir? And if we could
Psalms 147, Psalms 147, 19 and 20.
Come on.
That's your question. Is this me personally? I cannot stand the word anointing. I hate to have it in my mouth. The word anointing in my mouth, it just feels disgusting. It's a wonderful word. Everyone can say it, but I can't stand anoint. It just feels nasty to me. And I don't know why Christians use that term. I guess they mean, I don't know what the hell they mean. All right. Go ahead and read that one. Let Zadok read that for you. Zadok, you got it. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Kaza, are you sure that's the right time? That time seems a little later. You read that? Lord, we'll be here all night. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you know, I can't make it big enough for me to see it. You see what's happening. It ain't enlarging for me. But if you looked at it, you know. Go ahead.
Measure twice, cut once.
Go ahead. Whenever you're ready, Zadok. That's it. That's the one then. Maybe. Okay. Let me see. Maybe it's the other one. Let's see here. I think it gets to there. 10:15. I think that's the time. I would go with that.
So then it would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zadok.
He swept
loud.
He swept his word unto Jacob.
One more time.
He swept.
Say it again. You
He
good? Go ahead.
shoved his word unto Jacob.
Read that again. It's not loud enough, though.
He shoved his
not
word,
loud enough.
He shoved his word unto Jacob.
He does what?
Shoved his word unto Jacob.
He showeth his word unto Jacob. You know who Jacob is, Chicago, right?
Makan, sir.
Jacob wrestled an angel one night, and his name was changed from Jacob to Yashar Allah, which means Prince of the Power. God showed his word unto Jacob. Keep going.
His status and his
not loud enough,
His status and his judgments unto
his
Israel.
statutes. Read it again.
His statutes and judgments unto Israel.
His statutes. What are his statutes? His rules. What are his judgments? The consequences for breaking those rules. He shows his statutes and his judgments unto who?
Israel.
Unto not loud enough again.
Israel.
Unto Israel. Keep going.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Slow that one down. Taste every word of that.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He hath not dealt so with any nation. He showed his statutes, which are his rules, his judgments, which are the consequences for breaking those judgments, those rules, unto Jacob. He hath not dealt so with any nation, Chicago. Keep going.
And as for his judgment.
And as for what?
His judgment.
And as for his judgments. As for God's judgments, what he says is right, what he says is wrong. Go ahead.
They have not known them.
They have not what?
Known them.
They have not what?
Known them.
Oh, they don't even know. I don't go to an African church. They don't know God's judgments. Right. I would never become a Muslim because they don't, Zadok.
Not know them.
They don't know them. What am I asking a Muslim, Muhammad, about God for? They don't know him. That's what it says in the Bible. I'm going to some East Indian for God. Zadok. They have not
known them.
They don't know. Man, what do you want me to do?
Colin Wakan, sir.
Anything else?
La, sir. That's it. Thought out of one.
Levi?
How did Melchizedek make his appearance? It wasn't. I know it wasn't. So like an angel, but was the appearance like how the angel appeared to Sarah?
Yes.
And like
Melchizedek's appearance was like an angel appears in the room. God tells him to do it, and whop a time, here he comes. He's just there. It wasn't. That's how his appearance was, just like an angel would make an appearance.
and how did Abraham know who he was?
He was standing in that. How did he know who an angel was?
Who he was? Who
he
Melchizedek
was. You'll
was.
know when it happens to you. There's a thing that happens where you see someone and you go, "This cat ain't a man. Who is this cat here? What's going on?" Remember, Melchizedek was standing in the middle of the road as he came back from conquering these 5 kings. And he was standing there demanding a portion of the spoil. Now, there's one cat that you might hit him upside his head and drag him into a ditch because you know this is just a man. But then there's somebody else that you just go, this don't seem like a man. And then Abraham went dug into the spoil and gave him 10%. Abraham knew. How did he know? Because you know. Do you understand? That's how. Because you know, the same way Mary knew when Gabriel came to her, the same way that Elijah knew, Elisha knew. It's just some cat standing there. But it's like, this ain't a man that's standing here. And you know. Everybody understands. If you haven't been through it, some of you will go through it and you'll know. All right. Asher, what do you have?
We can move on to your topic, sir.
If you don't mind, let's do it. Clap it up, all right? What's the topic that we need?
We have 4 stories pulled up. We have the Mexican president.
Let's go into that. Here's for La Raza. Give La Raza a hand. The tribe of Yashakar, the chosen people of God, man. Well, this week, La Raza had a new president. And this is so good for all of the Mexicans. Listen, I encounter so many Mexican brothers in the world that think they cannot come into the Israel. You need me, Kataza? They think they cannot come into the Israelite school of UPK because there are so many negros, or so what do they call negros? It begins with an M. Moreno. There's so many black people in here, they just can't join this group. Really? Well, you have no problem with being a Mexican, and you got white Jewish people running Mexico. I don't know what you're complaining about. Come on, Asher.
And before we read this, sir, I would just want everyone to know that besides this woman who won the election, there were 37 other people going for the same position. And all 37 of them were somehow creatively unalived, which left her.
Isn't that something? Break that down a little more, Asher. Explain.
Consul, so we all know about how in Mexico, for instance, or even Colombia, the politicians, the elections can all be rigged. People get assassinated trying to run.
Of course.
So this woman who we're about to learn, she had 37 other competitors, opponents running for the same presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
And all 37 of them were unalived somehow.
God damn, Asher. That's a hell of a thing. You telling me that the presidency in Mexico, there was, of course, a race for who was going to be president. And the woman that won, all 37 of her opponents were unalived?
Concert.
Well, damn. Go ahead and read the story out.
I have the Wikipedia article pulled up.
Levi said she did it. I think you might be right. I think you might have broke the case, Levi. Go ahead.
Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo is a Mexican politician, scientist, and academic who is currently the president-elect of Mexico, the first woman to be elected to the position.
So this is the first. Oh, listen, praise the Me Too movement. This is the first woman to be elected as the president of Mexico. Keep going.
From 2000 to 2006, Scheinbaum served as Secretary of the Environment under future President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador during his tenure as head of government of Mexico City. She was delegational chief of the Tlalpan borough from 2015 to 2017 and was elected head of government of Mexico City in the 2018 election, where she ran a campaign that emphasized curbing crime and enforcing zoning laws.
Okay, this is you have a picture? Skip down to her personal life and who she is. Is that right here?
Come on, sir. Claudia Scheinbaum Pardo was born.
What's her name?
Claudia Scheinbaum.
Claudia Rodriguez.
Claudia Scheinbaum.
Claudia Reyes.
Claudia Scheinbaum.
Claudia Orale.
Claudia Scheinbaum.
Claudia Scheinbaum. That name sounds familiar here in New York. In New York, you've heard Scheinbaum when you paying your rent here, have you not? Have you not signed your rent check over to Joseph D. Scheinbaum? Yeah, this is a so-called Jewish woman. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'll keep drinking.
Was born to a secular Jewish family in Mexico City. Her paternal Ashkenazi grandparents.
Oh my God. Damn, Asher. They went all the way into the into the Ashkenazi. Read that again.
Her paternal Ashkenazi grandparents.
Her paternal, meaning her father's side, which means this is what she is. Her paternal Ashkenazi grandparents, meaning she is an Ashkenazi Jewish person, which means she's from the area. Her family come from the area of Russia, of Germany, around there. She's an Ashkenazi Jewish person. That's where her family comes from. Keep going.
Emigrated from Lithuania to Mexico City in the 1920s.
From where?
From Lithuania.
From Lithuania. Now here you go. Now you have a problem with coming in the UPK. You should have a problem being Mexican. Because our oppressor runs Mexico. How many of La Raza went out and voted for this heathen, for this devil? You ran out and voted for her, but you can't come into the UPK because there are too many Morenos in the UPK. Let me tell you something, Knock. What you don't want is freedom from your oppressor. That's what you don't want. You would have no problem as a Mexican following some Ashkenazi oppressor. But you can't come together with your brothers. And let me give you Mexicans something else you need that no one else tells you. That stupid Akawalo snake god is a stupid heathen idol, which means nothing. What is that stupid god that Mexicans love with the snake? Oxawatl. Say it, what's his name?
It's difficult to pronounce.
Put it up on the screen. The Mexican sun god of Oxawatl. It's a snake eating an eagle. And you Mexicans love that snake god like you're getting more spiritual. You think you're conscious, Mexicans, don't you? Because you love a Waxawakawatl. What's his name?
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl does not exist. It's a false idol that is nothing at all. It's an idol that your people have chosen above the God of Israel. And there is no God above the God of Israel. Right. You're just as bad as my tribe, the tribe of Judah, who loves Isis and Nefertiti and Cleopatra even. You're like a ton of black people that choose the God of your oppressor, some old false, stupid God. And you wonder why you've been in captivity after captivity. What's the God's name again?
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl is filth and garbage, and he never existed. It's a sun god. It's nothing. Now here you go. You're still worshiping a Waka Waka. Your people are worshiping an Ashkenazi Jew as president. There is no God but one God. There is no Lord but one Lord. And you Mexicans better give up worshiping your oppressor, and you better give up Waka. We don't respect Mexican gods in the UPK. We don't respect North American Indian wolf gods. You North American Indians, what do you worship in? The buffalo? The totem pole? Those are false gods. They're nothing. Look up Waxahachie. Here. Tell me what it is. Waxahachie.
From
Who
the
knows
Nahuatl-
how to spell it? Whatever. Waxa. So now we have to respect Waxahachie. Why? Because we're Mexican? We gotta respect Waxahachie. And let me tell you, stupid nigga, something else. You are not an Aztec. Forget that garbage. Right. You're as bad as the tribe of Judah that thinks they're Egyptian. You're not an Aztec. The Aztec Empire was one empire in the history of La Raza. You had so many other. What's the other empires they had? The Olmecs was another one.
Mine.
I don't think it's Maya, but it's like three other ones, Doc. The Olmecs were one. It's another one. I think I sent that to you. I thought I sent it to you. I might not have. Not the Inca. Listen, man, there are so many empires that the Aztecs killed so that they could be the number one empire of the tribe of Yashikar. But yet every Mexican thinks he's an Aztec. You know why? The same reason every black person thinks he's a Egyptian. Come on.
They had the Zapotec.
That's the one I want. Zapoteca.
The Mixtec.
The Zapoteca. The Mixtec. Go ahead.
Toltec.
The Toltec. Go ahead.
The Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan. Go ahead.
The Purepecha.
Now, you hear how many names he's reading of Aztec empires? These empires are thousands of years older than the Aztecs. So why does every Mexican think he's an Aztec? Who wants to guess? Books written about the Aztecs. Who wrote these books? Blow my mind. Answer the question. Who wrote all of these books about the Aztec Empire? Come on. White people. That's who wrote them. And then other Mexicans wrote their books about the white people that wrote books. How do I know? Because I'm a negro. I'm Morano. And I know that all of my people love Egypt. Who wrote the books about Egypt? White people wrote these books about Egypt. Then my people began to write books about the books that white people wrote about Egypt. I don't worship Egyptian gods. My people were in Egypt. Your people were in Egypt. Those are false gods. The gods of the Aztecs are false gods. The gods of the Zapoteca, the gods of this people, that other empire. There is no God but the God of Israel. And if you are a Mexican and you're still worshiping who? Quetzalcoatl, you're going back into captivity. And your new Jewish president is going to lead you into it. Your new Jewish woman president. You better give up false gods, you Mexicans out there being stupid and worshiping Waxahachie. Put up Waxahachie fast. I got to go. Show me what Waxahachie. It's just the sun. It's the sun. It's the feathered serpent that is the sun. It's a sun. It's a sun god. Just like the Egyptians have Ra and Osiris, and it's just the sun. Is that Waxahachie?
That's it.
That's an idol. I'm not worshiping him. I'm not doing that. And if you want to save your people, you will give up all of the false gods that did not serve you through captivity. You so-called North American Indians, stop with all that stupid dancing and all that wolf and buffalo nonsense. You Levites, forget about it. You with that snake and the egg and swallowing the egg and that voodoo. How did that work out for you? Terribly. Every tribe has some old gods that they think are their gods. The Levites have that voodoo and what's the snake god over there that Levi has that swallows the egg and all of that mess? There's so many stupid gods that Levites have that you believe these gods are going to help you while the colonizers chop you in pieces. It's not working. Eselis. Say again. Ogu is nothing. It's a false god. It's nothing at all. There is one God. Shema Yasha Allah. Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Hear, O Israel, our God is one God. That means the Mexican God is nothing. The Haitian God is nothing. The God of the Cheyenne is nothing. The God of the Egyptians is nothing. This nation has suffered for thousands of years because we worship false idols. That must end for us to be free. Every Mexican, you better let go of this stupid snake that somehow you follow. What are you, Aztec? What do you want to rebuild the Aztec Empire? For what? So the conquistadors can kill it again? How stupid are you? What do you black people want to do? Go to Egypt again so that white people can eat your mummies? Did I tell you something you never heard of? Do you know that the white people that came over from France and England ate the mummies? Raise your hand if you don't know what I'm talking about. Asher, I was not going to bring this video out. Asher told me not to bring it out because we did it before. You know why you don't find many mummies? Because rich people ate the mummies. They believe that the embalming process would cure them. The mummy, there's few mummies there because they ate them. Now you keep worshiping Osiris if you want. You worship Waxawaddle and Cuddle and the Aztecs. Fuck the Aztecs. Right. And fuck the Cheyenne gods and the Egyptian gods and fuck Caesar Borgia. But all the white gods, all the African gods, all of them. Shemai Yasha Allah. Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Akkad. This nation has one God, and that's that. Now, if you don't believe that, ask Waxawaddle to fight your new Jewish president in Mexico. You got to argue with me all day. Anything else? Next.
Slaggy, sir, we also have the story
Give me
about
the graduation one.
That's what I was about.
The water. Put that up on the screen. And then Abraham Lincoln. Oh, you love Abraham Lincoln. That's the God of Judites, Mexicans. Judites love Abraham Lincoln. He freed the slaves, you know, actually. Did you hear about that in school? He freed, as the doc. I know you heard about Abraham Lincoln in school. Oh, what they say about him in school, Zadok? He freed the slaves. Oh, he was a wonderful man, Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to tell you the truth about Abraham Lincoln tonight that every scholar knows. Everyone that doesn't go to church knows. First, let's play the graduation. There was a graduation this week. Captain Nazariak did an excellent video on it. It's 2024. There is a school district in Wisconsin where there is a black man who is the superintendent of schools. He was voted in the top 10 superintendents in the state. That's how achieved this black man is. That's how achieved he is, this brother from the tribe of Judah. He's the superintendent of the school district. He came down to the school district to stand in the line of people who shake the hand of the graduates. You got their teacher, their principal, and their superintendent. As he was in the line to shake the hand of a white student, her father came out the line, grabbed him, and assaulted him and pushed him off stage, saying, "You are not going to shake the hand of my daughter." In 2024, with all of your achievements, all of your rights, all of your marching, all of your voting, Abraham Lincoln foresaw this. He knew this was going to happen. Play the video. See me one last time out. Give me one finger. That's that with the scotch. Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me.
Look at this here.
You better get up off
Where's
me,
Brandon?
man.
Where's Brandon?
Get away from me, bro.
No, don't. Hey,
Go. You need to get. Hey.
Walk away.
I don't want to. You hear that sound? That's real sound. That's the superintendent saying, "Get off of me. Huh? What are you doing to me? Let me go." Watch it one more time. Go ahead.
Slaggy. So there he is in the corner.
I see him. I see the blue suit on, right?
Oh, excuse me. Where's
Dude, man, you better get up off
Where's
me,
Brendan?
man.
Where's
Get away from me, bro.
No, don't. Hey,
Go,
you
man.
need to get. Hey,
Walk away.
hey, walk away.
You gotta go. Get off right now.
I don't want to.
That happened last week. That didn't happen in the 1930s. That didn't happen during Jim Crow time in the South. That happened last week in Wisconsin. That didn't happen in Alabama. That didn't happen in Mississippi, in Georgia. That happened in Wisconsin. Wisconsin was a member of the what? The Union during the Civil War. Wisconsin is not a part of the South at all. That's the Midwest. This insult happened in Wisconsin. Let me explain to you something that has happened that your Christian church does not want you to believe. There was a black Republican this week that came out and said that black families were more together in Jim Crow times. Did you hear about that?
Kind of, sir.
That belief is a prevalent belief among people that want to please white people, that want to please our oppressor. Things were better when black people shut their mouths and took their abuse. When black people allowed their sons to be lynched and couldn't do anything about it. There are certain black people that believe that pleasing white people is pleasing God. Those people are in charge of America. Abraham Lincoln knew that at the end of the Civil War, you could not erase the hatred of white people no matter what you did. Abraham Lincoln believed that every black person had to be deported. Right now, you hear everyone talking about deporting the Mexicans, deporting the Haitians, deporting the people of South and Central America. Let me tell you the first people they wanted to deport, the freed slaves of the South. Play the video. You know what I want, Asher? The video of the Jake, and then give me that.
This one.
You got it. Go ahead. Dream. What's that mean?
It means that, contrary to what most people think, Abraham Lincoln's deepest desire was to deport all black people and create an all-white nation. It sounds like a wild idea now, and it is a wild idea, but from about 1852 until his death, he worked feverishly to try to create deportation plans, colonization plans, to send black people either to Africa or to South America, or to the islands of the sea.
Pause
He
that.
said
Let me
these
just, for you brothers that know you're Israelites, let me just show you how pertinent that is. Abraham Lincoln wanted to deport every black slave to where? To Africa. Who was in Africa? Liberia or South America. Why? He was sending you where your brothers were. He was sending you to Haiti. He was sending you to Liberia or Sierra Leone. He was sending you to the Caribbean islands because that's where the Israelites were. He was not sending you to South Africa. He was not sending you to Ghana. He was not sending you to Nigeria. He was sending you to the lands where the Israelites were. And this man just said it. You can rewind that a taste and play that. When he says Africa, just know he's going to tell you he's talking about the country of Liberia, which was a country of the tribe of Judah set up in Africa. Go ahead.
Create deportation plans, colonization plans, to send black people either to Africa or to South America, or to the islands of the sea. He said these words in a State of the Union message on December the 1st, 1862, in which he asked Congress to pass 3 constitutional amendments. 1, to buy the slaves. 2nd, to declare free all people who had actually escaped. But the 3rd one, his proposed 15th Amendment, asked Congress to allocate money to deport black people. To almost everything I say in here, I take from Lincoln or from documents of the time. It was not just something he wanted to push black people out. He had an idea of this great giant vacuum sound, black people leaving and white people from all over the world coming here and creating this all-white nation. As a matter of fact, I say, as you know, in his I Have a Dream speech at Alton, Illinois in 1858, he called for a haven, a white haven for free white people everywhere, the world over. Now, these are Lincoln's words. And the interesting thing about that is that he underlined these 4 words, free white people everywhere. He underlined them. This was his I Have a Dream speech. He was passionately committed to deporting black people and creating a white nation. Let me say in extenuation, he believed that that was the only way to solve the race problem. I found that offensive and strange, but he believed that that was the only way to solve the race problem. He said over and over again, he did not believe that black people and white people could live together in equality in the United States of America. That everything I've been taught about.
That's Abraham Lincoln's words. Abraham Lincoln, who was extremely intelligent and who understood his people, he did not believe that at the end of the Civil War, white people would ever accept black people. He did not believe it was possible. He believed they had to be deported to Liberia, to Haiti, to South America, to Puerto Rico, because he believed that white people would just never accept them. That is what Abraham Lincoln said. And so he wanted to deport every former slave and then accept white people like a vacuum from Russia, from Italy, from Ireland. I went and looked it up. He's telling the truth. I got it for you. I'm about to read it to you right now. Abraham Lincoln did not want the freed slaves to stay in America. He wanted you to leave. Why? Compassion. And that's what you have to understand about. There are some white people that are smart. What do you want to say?
Salakia. So if I may, I noticed that he said Abraham Lincoln was going to buy all the slaves, like paying like reparations to the slave master, that we're going to deport these people right here. So I'm going to pay you to
was the first plan.
hand them over.
The first plan was to give reparations to slave masters, to pay them for their loss of property, and to send all of the slaves to Liberia, to Haiti, to the Caribbean, to be with their brothers, so that white people would not hate them. Abraham Lincoln knew that there was no way that white people would ever accept these black people as equals. And he knew they had to leave so that white people would not harm them. You don't believe me? Come on. Just pause 1 second. I'm going to read his words. I went and looked it up. This brother said this. He's a scholar. I don't believe him. He's not in the UPK. So I went and found it for myself. And I have the words of Abraham Lincoln himself at his State of the Union speech where he's going to say it. Levi, you wanted to say something? If you could, say that one more time. Skip down to what I asked for. Levi, what's your question?
You were just about to say something about compassion, and you
meaning
said
this. Abraham Lincoln, there are certain white people out that are kind. They're good white people. A lot of them are judges who I'll be standing in front of soon. I like you. Just know you're my favorite white person in the world, Judge. Your Honor. You're my favorite white person in the world. They're kind-hearted. They're fair-minded. Even a fair-minded white person like Abraham Lincoln, he was fair. He knew that white people could never accept us as equals. He knew the only way we would be treated with kindness is to leave America. He knew if we stayed, we'd be treated with cruelty. And during the Jim Crow years, those are the lynching years, young man. That's the Emmett Till years, young man. That's the time when a black man couldn't serve on the jury. So if a white man killed you, he was going home for free. That's the what's that brother who was had his eyes gouged out because he was wearing a United States military uniform. He was a decorated military hero on the celebration of D-Day, which is today. He was a decorated military hero, but he was on a bus going to South Carolina, and he was sassy. He had lip. He gave lip to a white man, and they gouged out his eyes.
Isaac Woodard, sir.
Isaac Woodard. Give him a hand. This is the only one he will get. This is the only recognition he will get on the celebration of D-Day. He was a World War II veteran. He came home, did his duty in France. He came home to America. A white sheriff from South Carolina plunged out his eyes with a billy club. The federal government took the man to trial for federal crimes. The all-white jury said he was innocent because of Jim Crow, because there were no black people on the jury. Go ahead, Doc. Microphone warriors. Come on. You have the writing. Keep the writing up on the screen so I can go into it next. I got to go fast. Come on. Wait. Let me get this brother right here. Come on.
Water, sir. Wasn't it Abraham Lincoln who also said he would not have freed the slave if he could have saved the Union?
That's a quote. That's a quote you just gave. He would not have freed the slaves if he could have preserved the Union without freeing the slaves. Give him a hand. Katazak. Right now? How much time do I have? Go.
This is from the
Grab my
address
bags from out there.
on colonization to a deputation of colored men. This is a speech Lincoln gave to
Someone take the class
Judites.
after me and break this down. If you just the water. If you just read it, it explains itself. You want to do it? Come on, yeah. At 5 minutes, go ahead.
This was a speech he gave to a group of Judites. He said, "You here are free men, I suppose." Someone said, "Yes, sir." He continued to say, "Perhaps you have long been free or all your lives. Your race is suffering, in my judgment, the greatest wrong inflicted on any people." But
Abraham Lincoln said, "You freemen," that was the name for freed slaves. Like Morgan Freeman, that name is a name that was prevalent because that meant you were a black man who was a slave and now was free. And they called you the freeman. That's a big name in the South, like Morgan Freeman. And Abraham Lincoln has said, the greatest injustice in history has happened to you. Keep going.
But even when you cease to be slaves, you are yet far removed from being placed on an equality with the white race.
Even when you stop from being slaves, you're not going to be equal with the white race. That's what Abraham Lincoln is saying. Keep going.
You are cut off from many of the advantages which the other race enjoys. And he goes on to tell Salaki, I want to skip down a little bit to get to the. Nevertheless, I repeat, without the institution of slavery and the colored race as a basis, the war could not have an existence. It is better for us both, therefore, to be separated.
Abraham Lincoln said, listen, the war is going to make most white people hate you because they had to fight a war to free you. And the white people in the South are going to hate you because you're free. You have to leave. There is no way that they'll ever accept you. That's what he's saying. This is his words, Abraham Lincoln. Keep going.
You may believe that you can live in Washington or elsewhere in the United States.
You may believe you can be a superintendent in the school in Wisconsin. You may think you can do that. You may think you can go to Harvard, go to college, become a principal, then become a superintendent in the Wisconsin school. You may think what?
You may believe that you can live in Washington or elsewhere in the United States the remainder of your life as easily.
Take your time.
As easily, perhaps more so, than you can in any foreign country. And hence you may come to the conclusion that you have nothing to do with the idea of going to a foreign country.
You might say, listen, man, I can live in in the United States and I can live in DC, I can live in Wisconsin, I can live in New York. You might think I have nothing to do with going to a foreign country. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, I was looking for he
You
goes
keep
on
going
to
from
tell
where
them,
you are. Go ahead.
Oh,
Right
come
from
on,
there.
sir. and hence you may come to the conclusion that you have nothing to do with the idea of going to a foreign country. This is, I speak in no unkind sense, an extremely selfish view of the case.
This is what?
This is an extremely selfish
He
view
said
of the
you're
case.
being selfish. If you try to stay in America, you're being selfish. That's what Abraham Lincoln said. You're being selfish. Keep going.
You ought to do something to help those who are not so fortunate as yourself.
You should do something to help the less fortunate black people. You should leave. Keep going.
There is an unwillingness on the part of our people, harsh as it may be, for you free colored people to remain with us.
Stop. Read again. Break this down, Khalazar, when I leave.
There is an unwillingness on the part of our people, harsh as it may be, for you free colored people to remain with us.
That's what he said. Why do I have to break this down for 25 years? White people are unwilling, as harsh as it may sound, to accept you. They don't want to accept you. They can't stand you. Abraham Lincoln knew that. Read it again.
There is an unwillingness.
There is an unwillingness
on the part of our people.
On the part of our people, meaning Abraham Lincoln's people, white people. Go ahead.
Harsh as it may be.
It may sound harsh. I know it's not what the church says. I know it might sound harsh. Go ahead.
For you free colored people.
For you what?
You free colored people.
For you free colored people. Go ahead.
To remain with us.
To remain with us. I know it's harsh. Keep going.
Now, if you could give a start to the white people, you would open a wide door for many to be made free.
If you could give a start to white people, you would let a lot of people be free. How can white people start? By you leaving. By you leaving, then white people would not be angry. And they would allow the Italians to come in, and the Germans to come in, and the Irish, the paddy wagon. They would allow the Irish to come in. Khalazar, with that, pass the class over to priest officer, priest captain.
No sweat. Where we left off?
At we have very poor material to start with if we deal with those who are not free at the beginning.
Go ahead.
If intelligent colored men such as are before me would move in this manner, much might be accomplished.
Read that again.
If intelligent colored men such as are before me would move in this matter, much might be accomplished.
He's saying that you only smart if you understand everybody got to get up and get out. You know what I'm saying? And here's something else too. Even that was a failed experiment. Anybody know what actually happened with Liberia? No, nobody knows.
Descended into constant civil war.
It turned into directly civil war. You understand? Now we're gonna keep reading this, but just so you know, any nation that we go into is going to feel the same way. So those that ended up being these quote unquote wise black men, just like they try to make the Pan-Africans wise. They try to make everybody who wants to join over there in Africa. That was a failed experiment, because when they went over to Liberia, what happened was there was actual native Africans there. And you know what happened? They resented the African Americans who came there. So you have the indigenous of Liberia, and then you have an Amero-Liberian. And over the years, the tensions grew so big that the native Liberians eventually turned on the Amero-Liberians and assassinated the president and wiped out his entire cabinet, and it turned into a civil war, which lets you know Africa doesn't love you either. No one is going to want us inside of their land. Read on.
It is exceedingly important that we have men at the beginning capable of thinking as white men.
Thinking as what?
As white men.
Because that's really what they want. Go ahead.
And not those who have been systematically oppressed.
And not those who have systematically oppressed. So that he's saying that if you think like a white man, you think of freedom. And the free man should want to be away from us. Read on.
There is much to encourage you. For the sake of your race, you should sacrifice something of your present comfort for the purpose of being as grand in that respect as the white people.
Now, here's what's insane, though. What was the present comfort? The present comfort, you could say it's freedom. The present comfort is him saying that after years of bondage, we've now released you. So you're now being released. So now they want to send you to a whole foreign land with nothing. You understand? Imagine starting from no formal education, no ownership of anything. Your entire life was codependent on a slave master, where you got your food, where you got your clothes, the shanty that we lived in. And he's saying, this is a comfortable position. Read on.
It is a cheering thought throughout life that something can be done to ameliorate the condition of those who have been subject to the hard usages of the world. It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels he is worthy of himself and claims kindred to the great God who made him.
And meanwhile, they always say, what, God, all men were created equal. He wants to talk about, the great God that made us. Now, all of a sudden, that's there when really all of this was about stability for his country. All of this was really about what they believe would be the benefit for themselves now that they've lost the benefit of slavery. Good.
In the American Revolutionary War, sacrifices were made by men engaged in it, but they were cheered by the future. General Washington himself endured greater physical hardships than if he had remained a British subject, yet he was a happy man because he was engaged in benefiting his race.
His what?
His race.
And if this is something that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians have to instill inside of themselves, every race is only trying to benefit their race. Every race is only trying to benefit their own people. They know who's wearing the same jersey. They know who's on the same team, and they know what's good for the team. The problem is we don't know who's wearing that jersey. So as a result, we don't know that every single one of them are only thinking about themselves. Read on.
In doing something for the children of his neighbors, having none of his own.
Go ahead.
The colony of Liberia has been in existence a long time. In a certain sense, it is a success.
The colony of Liberia has been in existence a long time, meaning that the quote unquote, so you understand, Judites, so-called African Americans who went over to Liberia, he's looking at this like, oh no, this is successful. This was a good idea for this deportation. But now, once again, what happened with this idea of success? What ended up turning into it? Assassinations for Amero-Liberians. Civil wars that eventually America had to end up stepping in all over again. Good.
The question, Salakia, the colony, the old president of Liberia, Roberts, has just been with me the first time I ever saw him. He says they have within the bounds of that colony between 300,000 and 400,000 people.
Good.
Or more than in some of our old states, such as Rhode Island or Delaware, or in some of our newer states, and less than in some of our larger ones. They are not all American colonists or their descendants.
They are not all American colonists or their descendants, meaning what? That they're mixed in with the Hamites. You understand? It's not all of just us. And once again, you go and you look up, there was non-stop turmoil. Like there was skirmishes that happened inside of that land, on and off, on and off, on and off. And this is what anybody doesn't tell you. Every society, in order for it to be successful, has a first class and a second class citizen. And no other nation wants to be a second class citizen to you. And that's why they rebelled. Because when the Amero-Liberians were ruling that land over the natural Liberians, the Hamites in that land, they said, we're not going to be second to you.
Oh, Salakia, sir, if I may, when I was Blackly Black, you have people of today, you know what I'm saying, African Americans still fighting for their land so they could get their land back because the Hamites took their land. So, and you know what I'm saying, at this moment, they try to fight for that. They try to get their land back.
Because you know why? Because the Hamites wanted their land back that the Ameros took when they got there. Because they felt like this was all of our land. Good?
Something less than 12,000 have been sent thither from this country. Many of the original settlers have died,
Now, when it says many of the original settlers have died, how do you think that those settlers died? It was through these battles. It was through these skirmishes. Good.
Yet, like people elsewhere, their offspring outnumber those deceased. The question is, if the colored people are persuaded to go anywhere, why not there?
And it says, why not there? And you know why you don't go there? Because the Hamites don't want us there either. Everywhere we go, we end up being the undesirables, which is why we have to desire ourselves. And that's why, even why what the general was bringing out earlier, when it comes down to this quote unquote Jewish president, it's the more that we decide to integrate into these societies, the more we allow them to rule over us. The more that we allow ourselves to stay second-class citizens. The more that we turn around and like no other nation tries to do that. Like meaning the Chinese come here and they don't forget they're Chinese. The East Indians come here and don't forget that they're East Indians. And in doing so, they stay together and they're strong. We're the only ones who everywhere we go, we assimilate. And then once we assimilate, now you accept the Jewish cedar bomb as the president. You understand? Keep going.
Slack.
That was the name, cedar bomb, right? Shine, same thing. Good.
The place I'm thinking about for a colony is in Central America. It is nearer to us than Liberia, not much more than 1/4 as far as Liberia, and within 7 days run by steamers. Unlike Liberia, it is a great line of travel. It is a highway. The country is a very excellent one for any people, and with great natural resources and advantages, and especially because of the similarity of climate with your native soil, thus being suited to your physical condition.
Yo, read that last part again.
And especially because of the similarity of climate with your native soil, thus being suited to your physical condition.
Yo, the white man is the devil.
Right.
Keep reading.
The particular place I have in view is to be a great highway from the Atlantic or Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean. And this particular place has all the advantages for a colony. On both.
And now, once again, this is why the general said that he's put it, all of these locations was all about putting us back with our own. When he said Africa, he said Liberia. Why did he say Liberia? Because 12,000 of your people already went over there. Read on.
On both sides, there are harbors among the finest in the world. Again, there is evidence of very rich coal mines. A certain amount of coal is valuable in any country.
And now let me ask you something. In all of these countries, how many of us actually benefit from those resources? You get what I'm saying? Like what native, what indigenous Mexican is benefiting with cedar bomb in the office? You get what I'm saying? Like, which one of them, like even when you go inside of South America right now, you know, Argentina right now, you know, they're taking the money because the inflation is so high, and they're making paper mache items out of the money and selling the paper mache items of the money for more money, meaning that their money is so worthless that they make more money on an exchange rate by turning their dollars into art. You think our people is benefiting from being inside of these countries? Good.
Why I attach so much importance to coal is it will afford an opportunity to the inhabitants for immediate employment till they get ready to settle permanently in their homes.
So meaning more bondage. Y'all see how they look at us? Keep going. Hold your peace for a second.
If you take colonists where there is no good landing, there is a bad show. And so where there is nothing to cultivate and of which to make a farm.
Hold on 1 second. Do you need a vehicle? No. Okay. Okay, come on. No sweat.
But if something is started so that you can get your daily bread as soon as you reach there, it is a great advantage. Coal land is the best thing I know of with which to commence an enterprise.
Because now let me ask you something. What nation needs the coal? Ask yourselves that. Like what started to go around the same time? Like, do y'all know who the president was after Lincoln? If I'm not mistaken, it was Ulysses S. Grant. Do you know what Ulysses S. Grant was known for? Anybody? How about the Transcontinental Railway? Meaning the railway that now connects the East Coast to the West Coast. Anybody know what trains ran on during this time? Coal. Listen, it's going to be absolute turmoil if black people stay here inside of America. White people are never going to love and accept you. However, we have a beautiful coal mine we can send you to, because that enterprise is going to boom. You know why? Because America needs coal. Because America has railways, do you understand? So that this way they can fuel all the trade and all the steel and all the goods that's going to be going from one port to the other across the transcontinental railroad that Ulysses S. Grant finished, that was started during the time of Lincoln's administration. Was it? So when Ulysses come in? He had to be at least like 2 or 3 after him. But y'all see what I'm saying? Maybe I missed a president or 2, but all of that was transpiring during this time. That's really all it ever is. So he was 2 after. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what was transpiring at the time. America needs coal. Go ahead.
If such persons have what will be an advantage to them, the question is whether it cannot be made of advantage to you. You are intelligent and know that success does not so much depend on external help as on self-reliance.
Now all of a sudden it's on self-reliance.
All right.
You understand? Why did the Jewish man need external help then during the Holocaust? You understand? No nation needs external help. So they didn't need the French during the American Revolution. Nobody else starting a nation needs help or aid or allies from anybody else. But you know what? We're going to start you from scratch. We're going to throw you in the coal mines.
Right.
Go ahead.
As to the coal mines, I think I see the means available for your self-reliance. I shall, if I get a sufficient number of you engaged, have provision made that you shall not be wronged. If you will engage in the enterprise, I will spend some of the money entrusted to me. I am not sure you will succeed. The government may lose the money, but we cannot succeed unless we try, and we think with care we can succeed.
Yeah, unless we try to strategically move you into another area for new labor. Good.
The political affairs in Central America are not in quite as satisfactory a condition as I wish. There are contending factions in that quarter, but it is true all the factions are agreed alike on the subject of colonization and want it and are more generous than we are here.
Jesus Christ. Because all this is, right, once again, is every nation looks out for themselves. And every nation looks at us and tries in some way, shape, or form to make merchandise out of us. They try to find a way to have us benefit them and put us in the absolute worst condition that they could imagine. You understand? Now, we got to get ready for cross the line. Moral of the story is blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians have never been supposed to be a first-class citizen inside of America. And at the same time, all of these nations strictly look out and watch for themselves. Everything is in their own best interest. And what's not in our best interest is joining them, is integrating with them. You understand? Everything for them is finding a new means or a new way for us to be able to serve them. Because when we are left to our own devices, that's where you get Black Wall Street. You understand? Like everything is really about eliminating competition and finding a new way for us to serve them. Finding a new way, because if you leave us to our own devices, that's how you get Tulsa. You get Tulsa without integration. You understand? Without Jim Crow, without sharecropping. You get a competitor who's able to rise up, and then they become a second-class citizen. And that is the last thing that they want, is for blacks and Latinos to be able to rule over them. Because once again, you look at Tulsa, right? When was the peak of Tulsa? Let's say 1918. How many years is that removed from slavery, from the Emancipation Proclamation? 50 years? So you mean to tell me 50 years removed from slavery, they now have a city that they call the mini Black Beverly Hills with its own law offices, with its own airports, with its own airplanes, doctors' offices, grocery stores, farmland, all of this in 50 years removed from slavery. If they leave us alone, we will take over. You understand? Like you think about what do we not dominate on a sports level? You know, for the past 14 years, Simone Biles has been winning gold medals. I think 2014 was her first gold medal. 2024 is her last gold medal. Right? Maybe 2012. I forget. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around 12 to 14 years, she's been dominating. You look at the fastest man and fastest woman, whether it was Jesse Owens, Usain Bolt, Sha'Carri Richardson, or FloJo. These are the things that they put us on the front lines for, to win them glory, and we dominate, whether it's the gridiron, whatever the hell it is. But now imagine if we knew that we could run a Fortune 500 company like we could dribble a basketball. You follow? Imagine if we knew we could run Wall Street, you understand, the way Chris Brown could dance. We would now be better at them at banking. You understand? We would now be better at them at anything when it comes down to commerce or the economy. We literally built this country. They need to keep a competitor down. And by us mining coal, once again, they could have Disney World. You get what I'm saying? Like, by us being on the bottom, it's how they are a superpower. No country can survive like that without servants. Someone has to sweep the streets. Somebody has to take the trash out. And that's where they want us. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Paratazar.
Clap it up for the class. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majum, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat. Majum, Barak. Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua Rakatha. Yasmatah. So, in turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Because we online. Yeah. All right. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat. Amajum, Barak, Yahushua Thumb Bashim Yahushua. Yasmatah, class dismissed.